Nice. Hello and welcome to Mezzanine Talk. I'm Jean Tunes Marais and we are here at Tune Studio Stellenbosch. Tune Studio offers services such as rehearsal space, recording and drum lessons. The Audiostocracy is a sound company which now has its headquarters at Tune Studio. The Audiostocracy, spearheaded by Gerard Klaasen, is a live sound company who specialize in services such as live sound, gear, DJ, and lighting rentals. Today on the podcast, we have a very unique musician. He is not only a freelance drummer, he's also a drum builder. Welcome, Brendon.
Ooh, thank you. Thank you, Jean. Thank you so much for having me. What a privilege.
How are you doing, man?
I'm well, thanks, man. Well, yeah, apart from the traffic, stoked I got you in time.
It's this joke that somebody said once, if you're in traffic, you should just remember that you are part of the traffic.
Oh, yes. Rather get a motorcycle.
Yeah. Beetroot. It's the name of your drum company. It's Beetroot Drum Company.
Drum Company.
Cool.
Yeah.
So where did that name originate from?
Well, one could say it's kind of my nickname, going back to like childhood.
Yeah.
My real tight chummy, we grew up in Ganubi in East London, that's kind of right there as Laties. And I guess because of the color of my hair, they called me Beetroot just to shred me. And then one day he fell in the water and his pops had recently just put acid in the pool. So he fell in the pool and we're actually just rinsing off after a surf.
Yeah.
And his hair kind of went yellow greenish. So I got him back and called him Cabbage. Anyways, it was just a nickname.
So it's like a nickname,
Yeah, I just went from there. Thought it would just be unique in a way that it's, it was all really just me, really.
Yeah. It's pretty cool because I also have a nickname. Some people know me by the name Dirt, which is obviously the little badge that you so nicely installed on the kick drum. Kudos to Jean Venter. Tiny.
Kudos to Jean Venter for hooking that up.
Yeah, it was brilliant idea.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so that's you can actually see the viewers can see the kick drum. I'm pretty sure they can. It's a little 16-inch bass drum, which Brendon built, and it's
good.
It's really a beaut. What's it? The specs? It's 10-inch or what?
Yes, this
can you remember?
16-inch by 10 inches in depth.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, 10 inches.
Yeah,
and it is a 6mm shell with a sort of a combination of sapele and a kumi.
That's the word, African sapele.
Yeah, Africans. Well, we just call it straight up sapele.
Just sapele. Okay.
It's like it's a slightly denser version of true mahogany.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what sort of tone do you usually get from that kind of wood?
Well, I think, my approach is the darker the wood looks in color, the darker the sound would kind of be in terms, and obviously you get more low-end resonance out of the darker woods. That's my kind of...
Which is also the case with the mahogany.
Which is the case with the mahogany. It's slightly more porous. It's not as... The pores in the wood aren't as tight as, let's say, maple or birch.
Okay.
So a slightly looser formation with the grain.
Yeah.
Just more visible as well.
Yeah.
But still darker and rather dense. Yeah.
So with the maple, I remember Andries Visser, which is who's the guy who built this beautiful little T-top, which we experimented with.
Man.
he told me the maple is like a more high frequency.
That's right.
Is that correct?
More, quite a lot of mid-range.
Yeah.
But not as much as, let's say, birch would probably give you.
Is it?
Yeah, but maple is up there. It gives you, it's a brighter, higher pitched sort of, naturally when you put the heads on, it's a brighter sounding drum.
So birch is also quite top end.
Birch is kind of top end also up there, but it's also got that, it kind of holds a bit more resonance at the bottom. There's a lot of low end frequencies that happen.
Yes.
With the birch.
I know
and obviously with the darker woods, it would be the same thing. A lot of low end frequency. And also depending on the way you structure the shell.
Yeah.
But like vertical grain, where the grain of the wood is vertical.
Yes.
That tends to also give off a different, how could I explain this? The vibration and pretty much the vibration it travels down to the bottom of the shell a lot quicker. So you get a lot more response. And obviously you actually get a bit more bottom end as opposed to a horizontal grain build. You naturally feel it if you had a raw shell, and before we drill for holes, for hardware.
Yeah.
You give it a few taps and you'd be able to, you'd know the difference immediately.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. What a science.
Between the two. It's pretty cool.
It's crazy.
Maple would be like up there, dum, 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 on a 6mm shell, and then same thing, 6mm shell, same sort of construction.
Mahogany.
And then the sapele would be like dum, dum,
yes.
dum, 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 maple, dum, 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 down there.
Lower pitch.
Lower, much lower.
Check the Mapex had a few years back. They had this awesome birch kits. I think Ankla Stellenbosch still has one.
Okay.
That thing is, it's just so epic.
Yeah.
It's like it's built like a tank. It's just so durable and
totally, yeah.
And like you say, quite clicky. If I understand you correct, quite clicky, but it also punches.
That's right.
Yeah.
You get a lot of the punch. You notice, like if your shells are thicker, the thicker your shells are, you'd get more punch and a little bit more volume.
Yeah.
The thinner your shells, it's just more of a behind the kit, a close players sort of sound, The thinner the shells are, you really get to feel the resonance of the drums.
Yeah.
Right up as the player.
Yeah.
And
would you argue that if your shells, the walls, I think you're referring to the walls of the shells, if that's thinner,
yes,
would you argue that you get a bit more decay? Generally?
Yes, definitely. You would get a bit more decay. It's a thinner shell, so it's gonna vibrate a lot more than a thicker shell would.
Yeah.
So as the shell moves, the pressure inside and the air kind of moves along. And that's where you get your overtones from, and a little bit of a buzz sometimes.
Yeah.
But for a studio setup, it's wow, man. It's I'd say the way to go. Just to have the thinner shells, so you can really spend a lot of time just fine tuning the kit and tuning, just getting that thing sounding solid, and the rest is just the magic. Doing a bit of engineering. Bit of
mic techniques and stuff. Yeah. And room acoustics, obviously, a big part. So,
another game.
Where does walnut come into the picture?
Walnut? Yeah. Wow, I haven't actually, to date, I haven't built anything with walnut. But
I would suppose it's also quite dark.
Definitely dark.
Yeah.
But also not as porous as
As you mentioned with the sapele.
As the sapele and the mahoganies, and even like oak. Oak is quite it's a white wood.
Yes.
But it's really hard.
Huh.
But also really porous.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. You can check it with the oak sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can feel, you almost like just one session with some, if you got bad technique with some oak sticks,
you're going to clap them.
You're going to have blisters. Totally,
Sorry, I was interrupting you.
Many,
porous. You were talking about the walnut being a bit porous.
Walnut is it's a lot tighter with the granule patterns. Everything's a little tighter than the sapele. So it's almost like a maple, almost the same in density. So, you like with the walnut, you're going to definitely get a lot of vibration. It's going to be a high pitched drum. But at the same time, just depending on how it's tuned and how you've actually built the shell, how thick it is, generally it's kind of up there. It also seems to have like this tendency to be drier, a drier sort of natural sound. But surprisingly enough, not as much as you'd think in terms of the low frequencies down there, because of the darkness. But it is still kind of there in the mid-range in terms of bottom end.
You've built a couple of shells and a couple of kits and stuff. If I remember correct, I think you put together a sort of club kit for Jonno Sweetman.
Yes, yeah, what a privilege that was. That was just after the full kit with the 20 and the 12 and the 16.
So you did him 2 ones.
Yeah, so it actually initially started with his 3-piece shell pack, which was the 12 by 8. 12 by 8 maple rack. And he also opted for the 4.5 thin shell, 4.5 mil thickness, with 1.5 mil focus rings, maple focus rings. So it was a 12 by 8, 16 by 16, and a 20 by 14.
It sounds slick.
The 20, the bass drum, was a 6 mil with 1.5 mil maple focus rings. But yeah, that's kind of what he wanted. He really wanted something that responded a lot quicker, and at the same time a sort of a thinner sound. Yeah.
Jazz kind of feel. Open and thin.
I was there not too long ago. He's got a rad little space on a farm, and he had the kit set up there. And it was kind of my first time. This was probably about 4 weeks ago. And that was kind of my first time on the kit and really just getting behind it and getting to know the drums. And he had them sort of high pitched. But man, the response and like the resonance, sometimes when you tweak the drums too much and you start losing resonance, I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
It just stiffens out and, you kind of
flat.
You got this bottom here just going nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I just had so much fun playing on something that was tuned high, and I still, it wasn't like I was like, geez, I need to go back to the lower tuned, punchier, sound that I'm used to, As a drummer, I'm just that, but yeah, I had good fun just playing some high tuned stuff that was technically not that high in tuning.
Yeah. But that must be so awesome. I mean, you build all these shells and stuff and you never really get to play them. I mean,
it's frustrating at times, but I let the owners do all the work and then I get the response through that, wait for the videos to come back or.
Yes, it must be awesome to check like a well-known freelance drummer like Jonno Sweetman just jamming on your product
just
live, like
smacking the beetroot drums. Yeah, geez, man, I'm like so privileged and so stoked to have all these rad players opting for Beetroot, really just by choice, just coming up and saying, yeah, Beats, I'm keen, build me one. What does it cost? Let's get involved. Man, I'm fortunate enough to have some real flagship drummers in our country, just playing some Beetroot product.
So if you got some names, like
I do
name drop some.
Bruce Wallis.
Wow.
He's just next level.
Yeah.
Session cat, and he's like one of my inspirations, and like as a latte, I moved to Johannesburg for a while, and that's where I started music. Kind of started studying and lived the Josie life for a while. Let the gills dry out, couldn't surf anymore, but I got to learn how to play drums and hang out with all these awesome musicians, and Bruce Wallis is one of them. That he was the cat. I'd be watching him in church and not even hardly focusing on the praise and worship sometimes, it's just like, I'm just like almost in awe, because the dude's doing like, at the time, I didn't know there were double strokes, but it was just cool to see this flow of like,
yeah.
And, you know what I mean? It was just, so it's Bruce Wallis, Jonno Sweetman. Jonno Sweetman.
No introduction needed.
And Andy Maritz.
Okay.
Gentle Dan Pekansky.
Yes.
Wow, there's so many rad names.
Man.
Corne Olkers, he's a rad player up in, if I'm not mistaken, also in Josie, but Midrand, I think, or somewhere around there.
He's got a school, Olkers drumming or something. Yeah.
Yes, no, on fire. I love that, man. There are quite a few, and quite a few drummers that are just spread out around the country. Some cats in Durban, some in East London, some in Johannesburg and around.
And then
a beetroot.
Like talking interesting shells and stuff, like interesting requests that you had before. I know we touched a bit on Jonno's setup, but like if there's any other, interesting snare drums or some weird stuff that you've built before, anything that springs to mind.
I haven't actually done anything too nuts and exotic,
whack,
too whack. But I've had a lot of requests. Some chaps, obviously, most of them don't come to fruition because it's like, you're just kind of testing the waters, and a lot of the chaps just want to kind of test the boundaries and actually check what's out there, and just have a look at what I could offer. But a lot of guys just, some of the chaps would like, they'd have, more of a hybrid. A lot of them just want hybrid setups, so they want this. They'd want like some sort of composite of like maybe sapele with a wenge, some wenge right in the center of the shell, and then maybe a bit more sapele, and then a bit of maple right on the inside or something like that. I can't really remember all the requests,
But that's a good example.
Those are the possibilities, when you're able to kind of craft the shells
and then
from scratch, and
then talking. Like the drum build process, you were explaining quite nicely to me, and I've sad to say I forgot it, so I'm going to get the whole story now again. So you're mentioning the stress-free process versus against the grain and with the grain. And can you elaborate a bit more on that? Because you said like companies like Mapex, Yamaha, whatever, big brands, for mass production, they built it a certain way, and you go against that. Not against, but you go the opposite way.
Well, it's not really like that. I think there are many methods of constructing a shell.
Yes.
and a lot of the bigger companies have hydraulic systems. Jigs, and some of these jigs heat up as well, just to get a lot of the moisture out of the glue to speed up the process. You know, you can pull out a shell within a minute. It's ridiculous like that, you know.
Wow.
But they're I learn from all of these massive brands. I've kind of learned from all of them how they do things and why they do them. I kind of figure it out myself, you know. And the only way you can is by physically figuring it out. And, you know,
spend a lot of time and money.
Lay their shells, you know, how they, you know, cross grain. Do they cross grain? Some companies don't cross grain at all, you know. Some of them choose just like a horizontal setup or layup, you know. So, but for me, like a lot of the companies there would be some companies that would just take the piece and they manipulate it into one solid mold. So it's really just this round cylindrical tube, let's say, you know, and they with such precision that, you know, they'd use some CNC machinery, kind of figure out all the dimensions. These things get cut and obviously some of the Japanese as well, they do a lot of this by hand cutting, and it's like next level precision. And their method would be taking it and having some sort of a cross scarf joint. There's so many different joints, scarves. It really just the seams where the two parts, the two ends meet of each sheet, really. And some of them would go in with a lot more force right in, almost acquiring no pressure afterwards, because the natural tension is all there. Okay. Once the sheets are kind of hammered in. Some have hydraulic systems with basically two parts that would open up, and then they got all the tools and the machinery, and you just really cut that. They cut those veneers and the sheets 100%, so that when it meets and that mold closes, the two parts with natural free tension, without having any tension from the inside, the sheet would kind of just pretty much just kind of clip into place, really, you know. You know, and yes, and that is sonar drums, in fact, you know, those cats, geez, so clinical, and they've got it down, you know. And so my method of creating the shell is almost based on you know, let's say the sonar method of crafting, but just more you know, just a basic layout of how I do things. It's just a simpler way of doing it the sonar way. You know, Sonar got rad machines, and you know they've got all the tools to do the job. Whereas some of us, we get to use our hands to do it as well. That way we just get a bit more precision. We get to spend a lot more times with the drums, cutting them by hand, you know, like cutting strips of the veneer to get, you know, to place in the molds. Spend a lot of time. There are a few companies that do it where we're just using our hands and Stanley knives and rulers and calipers or verniers, whatever you call them, you know, just to get the finer, the micromills going, you know. But like, my method is basically the sonar method of just using the natural pressure and trying to get as tight as possible, 100%, each, you know, having each sheet cut 100%, so that when I put it inside, it still has a little bit of its own. There's like an extra little micromill that I just add on it, you know, just to give it that extra push, so that when it goes and I manipulate it into the mold, it just literally clicks in like this. It would kind of fold out on one side from the inside, folds out, and then it's like the raddest feeling, bro.
Yes.
It's like folds in and you just hear it click like it. And it's in place, bro.
Yeah.
And then you just repeat that process, you know? So now you're just building up thickness.
Yes. That's
depending on how many
fascinating.
sheets you want to put in. But yeah, man, I went through quite a few methods and like a lot of mistakes, you know, trying to figure out which method to use, you know, which one would kind of work for me. And, with the tools I had, you know, would be the most appropriate method of doing it. And, yeah, that's it, man. I use real basic hand tools, you know, it's like I use a table saw, I've got a router machine, real basic hand tools. You know, no CNC machines just yet, but the plan is to obviously get there, you know? Yeah. Get there, build something big.
Any stuff that you want to plug or tell us about with Beetroot Company, up and coming stuff? You don't have to, but just...
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, at the moment, I've really just been doing it as a sort of hobby to kind of feel where this is going to go. You know?
Yes.
And obviously, like, I mean, there's enough traction to persuade me to make it, you know, to kind of take it further. You know?
Yes.
And obviously, that takes a bit of ammo. You know, I mean, you need a lot of backs to kind of.
And you need support structure,
support structure. I mean, inventory is quite a serious thing. Trying to build up inventory just in the hardware sector of it all. You know, it's like, geez, it can be tough. So, but there are plans. There are plans in place. I plan to have my own parts fabricated for Beetroot. You know, so that I'm not doing too much importing of. So that of goods.
You obviously work with like with the bass drums, the shell spares and stuff. You obviously work with like whatever BK and couple of people. You get the stuff in, like with my little kick drum. Where did you get the bass drum spares for example?
That I went straight to BK.
Okay, cool.
BK they still had a bunch of Gibraltar parts. In stock. But most of the time it's just really just the local retail stores, if they've got it stoked, you know, if they're in Josie or here in Cape Town or in Durbs. But obviously, so it's a big challenge. So the idea is to have parts, even snare switches, mechanisms,
throw-offs,
and the throw-offs and the butt ends. I dig to have that stuff fabricated, but a real simple but effective, setups. Obviously it's still I have some ideas, but it's good, you know, just put it into fruition and make it happen. But it takes time. And so for now, I'm just building, and eventually I'll register Beetroot and I'll get a tax number and all of that, you know? And build a sweet website. But it's kind of, I think the time is now, you know, to kind of make that happen.
If we switch lanes a little bit, I want to talk about you as a musician as well. You mentioned that you sort of had that musical spark in church back in Joburg.
Yes.
So I just want to fast forward a little bit. So any high school music activities, varsity, you know, what did you do?
I actually went straight to, when I moved to Johannesburg in 2000, my pops and them, they attended a CMA Bikers Church, this rad Bikers Church. Doesn't mean it was like for only for bikers, you know, but it was, this rad church and in Midrand, and the worship team were just a bunch of like super hot musos that were all lecturers at music schools. And, real like full-time musos, really, you know. And I got to Josie and I got to church. I went there with the pops. I still remember that first night, and I was just like, I was kind of into music already, you know. growing up in East London with my tight mates, the Latte brothers, and just a whole lot of bras there.
Right, so you go
we
way
were all
back.
inspired of like music was just like it was everything to us. Like we just wanted to play in a band, and that feeling, bro, And so when I got to Josie and I saw these gents playing at church for the first time, I was just like, oh my hat, bro. Check this out.
This is what I want to do.
This is the real deal, bro. These guys are jamming properly, And but before I even moved to Josie, I actually, us as Latis, in Ganubi, we attended one of those live concerts, and it was like this band from Johannesburg touring, Christian rock band, and they were playing at one of the local churches in East London.
Yeah,
and it happened to be one of the actually the majority of the band were the actual worship team at the Bikers Church in Midrand, and so when I got to Midrand and I saw the same gents that we saw at this little concert that we had in Kanubi, it was this whole thing. And then because I kind of introduced myself back then, and it was just like, oh my word, Bruce Wallis, bro, I got your album, jeez, man. It was just like, so kind of from there, it was just, okay, cool, I want to play music. And then it just went from there. Then the next year I was at National School of the Arts, and I did 3 years there, playing music, studying music. And then I did the Groove Regulators course. It was almost like a 3-year crash course in 1 year. It's like a PRT, percussion certificate. And I was taught by Andres. That's when I really, when we really got deep into technique and really getting to know the theoretical and the technical side, hand techniques, all that kind of, and then like obviously from there it was just like I really dig playing drums. And
your first sort of band experience what was your first band that you joined?
Well, it was the band in Kanubi. Yeah, actually, that was our first as a whole. Just
with the Latte brothers.
With the Latte brothers,
okay,
exactly, bro.
Cool.
Yeah, with the Latte brothers.
Okay.
In their pool room, just outside, they had a rad little pool room.
Nice. Their
pops, Uncle Rod, like arranged through some of his mates.
Yeah.
The one chap had like a bass drum and like an old pot plant stand, the steel pot plant stand. We could just lay a snare drum down on there. We had bits and bobs, and our vocalist Craig, he had used an old pool net pole,
Yeah.
And one of those silicone holsters. I don't know, So like we made a plan. We just wanted to play, make music.
That's super DIY.
Yeah, like
awesome.
Full on DIY.
Wow.
But then I got a Sentry kit while we were still with this band. My mom like surprised me one day, and we got this Sentry drum set. And I walked into the office, and it was like this blue Sentry kit. Bro. I was so stoked.
The feeling.
And then we carried on. I mean, we carried on playing. We jammed a few times, and then those Sentry kits, the hi-hats, the cymbals in general, were like they were just not the real deal. Like a couple of smacks and it like pulled in and warped. And
I know that story as well.
We jammed until the hi-hats cracked right around the bowl, bro. And it was so crinkled. And like it literally, we jammed until it fell off, bro. The bowl was just mounted on the clutch, bro. And then it was like, bro, it's like tinfoil. Let's call the band Tinfoil. It was like our first band, Tinfoil in Kanubi, and then special way. Jeez.
And then in Joburg, I would imagine that it was in Gauteng in your early adult years. When did you start jamming with Jan Blom?
Oh wow, that was that was, geez, that would probably be in 2005, around there. So like a good 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
how did that happen?
Scooped that gig. The bass player, Martin Labuskachny.
Yes.
Yeah, he'd been with her for quite a few years before I even joined. And Martin had also played for some other rad bands, New Academics and
right.
Just so many other groups, those were just jamming. We were all just jamming. And so I joined Jan Blom through Martin. Yeah, through Martin.
Okay.
And then the rest of the other rad bands I jammed for, was also kind of through Martin, I'd say,
Kind of spawned from there.
Yeah, from there. And it was like, Brendon, we need a drummer, and then.
So that was a solid connection for you. What were those other bands that you joined?
Joe Day.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Joe Day. That was
Hectic,
quite epic.
Man.
Yeah, some nice grunge rock and roll.
Yeah.
Met some rad people and got into the scene there, and then from there it was the New Academics.
You also played with them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. Just stoked to do 2 albums with them.
Lekker.
And then we just, as New Academics, we played for the Gang of Instrumentals. So we were kind of the dub band. So as New Academics, we did a bit of that. Gang of Instrumentals, that was sweet as well, just some big shows and flying around and.
Nice. So that's sort of where the session game started for you.
Yes, I'd say so. Like my intentions weren't really to be a studio drummer, although like it was like in the back of my head, I should really be, if I'm going to study music, I'm going to be a studio drummer.
Yeah.
Although I love playing in studio, but I don't dig like the pressures.
Yeah. It's,
like for me, it was
can be rough.
Can be quite rough in a serious studio environment. Yep. It's like bring out charts and, but it's not to say that I love being in studio. I dig playing along to a track. I like that controlled environment. I dig the vibe, but it's got to feel like I'm at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for me, like performing live is, I'm sure you could say the same, but, like performing live is just something else.
It all has its pros and cons. I mean, like playing live, we all know about the woes of playing live, like lugging your gear. Like we're not as privileged to have roadies and stuff, mostly in our country, and like your gear.
That's why we're so strong, bro.
Hey,
we can pick up those cymbal stands, no problem, bro.
Yeah. And like your gear standing in the sun, waiting to be played, and you got to be set up early, and like you get defects to your cymbals and stuff. There's so many woes, like obstacles as a working drummer, especially in a country like South Africa, like I said, where we don't always have the infrastructure. But I'm just posing this as the opposite, where like studio is cool, but it's also not. Live is cool, and it's also not. It's also not. It's kind of nice. They say you have to focus on one thing to really get, master of your craft. But I mean, once again, they say that in first world countries, or whatever you want to call that,
whatever you want to call that.
Cats like us can't really choose. We can't really say, okay, cool, I'm going to say no to all teaching jobs now. I'm just going to focus on, you can't do that. Like,
no. And that's kind of why I have to build. Well, not kind of why I build, because I love it.
Yeah.
It's so rad. Sometimes I want to give up because it's just like, there's just too much going on, and it sometimes, it can be quite tough. But I mean, yes, my bro, like I can't go without a day where I'm not like somehow looking for, just looking to be, just for some,
to further a project, like a building project.
Man, I go on Pinterest a lot.
Okay.
And, wow, there's a lot of inspiration on there.
Yes.
Like you go on there and there's like drum ideas for years. But so what I do is it's because sometimes it can be like I've got to switch into these 3 different personalities. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like that, but it's like you get into that headspace of, okay, cool, I'm gonna teach now. So you get into that vibe and you start prepping the work and you get into that just into that teaching motion, and I think me as a human, I'm more of like an emotional thinker and planner. And everything I do, I've got to kind of feel it first.
Yes.
Before I get stuck in. So I think, for me, sometimes it can be quite challenging going from playing, getting stuck into the teaching and then just having my head in that. And then straight after that, it's like, okay, cool. Now I've got to get back into the garage. I need to start operating. I've got some wood to cut.
Yes.
I need to start like having some perceived notion of what I'm going to be building, so like I get into that space where I got to get creative, and I really like to actually picture and know exactly what I'm going to be doing, before I get stuck in and start crafting, and then it's the jamming side, right? Then it's like playing live, get into that motion, which is kind of easier for me, that's where I kind of let go of the rest of life's aspects,
Yeah, but it's nice in the sense that the one discipline inspires the other one, and it also takes your head off to, if you gig all the time and then in the week you got maybe a recording job or something, then it's nice to sort of step away. I always tell people, like, I would not be able to just focus on one aspect. It will kill me. I cannot do that. It's whether that's right or wrong. It's just not for me. I like to diversify and do a bit of this and do a bit of that, and let like cross-disciplinary, like I said, the one influences the other one.
That's it, man. Strategy, like also just. Like I said, for me, it's I have to force myself. Like I have to, otherwise I can linger on a project for a bit, So I've got to force myself. Like, okay, I'm not building drums today. I have to be teaching today.
Get it done,
and just make it happen. Strategy, and just
so
a little diary.
Your teaching job. Where do you teach now, and what does that entail?
Oh man, I teach the raddest bunch of little kids in Tableview Primary.
Cool.
That's actually puts a smile on my face in the mornings. Sometimes dealing with these little kids, bro, and they come to class and they're just stoked to come and make some noise.
Yeah.
And, also just to be kind of take the minds off the homework and the schoolwork, just get stuck in there. And, I think, it helps them and it helps me,
So how did you?
It feels good to see them kind of progress, and where they're really kind of thinking about it, and they're trying to, figure out what to do with the limbs, and, it's a beautiful thing to check there, because they come back the next lesson, and sometimes they wouldn't really know what the notes and the theory is, they don't really get into that, but they get home and I can see they invest in the time and try and physically figure it out. So
internalize it.
They're trusting their ears, which is a good thing. But yes, really, to get them to do some theory work, like quarter notes, eighth notes, just.
It's tedious.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
They get it done though. They get it done. Trusting the ears, pretty cool,
Because your ear is all you need, like.
Absolutely, man. I think theory is really, really important, because if you can read the stuff, there's so much material you can figure out on your own,
It goes quicker. It definitely goes quicker if you can learn it both ways. If you can read it and like hear it, definitely.
Exactly. And then it all makes sense. I mean, it's the music. It's a picture of music, you know. It's like, there it is. There's your drum piece. Oh, that's what it actually looks like. That makes sense, you know. And it's just really getting them to understand the notation, the value of the notes, and then it's really just it's like basic maths, you know, subdividing the notes and count and how you count the notes, and then it's, you know, it's tickets from there that, you know, they can really kind of figure out on their own.
Yeah, and maybe also vocalizing your parts.
Exactly. I told them all the time. I asked them to please, like, make it a habit, you know. Yeah. Make it a habit to sing parts, and even if it's something you can't really play and subdivide, you know, like having 8th notes here and breaking up some 16th notes, going, you know, something like that. Yeah. Just even if, you know, just kind of take your dominant hand away and just express yourself with your bass drum and your snare drum. Yeah. And sing those parts, sing them, and then start applying the top side, you know, and then getting because you're kind of just doing the subdividing at the bottom, right? Yeah. And then you've got your dominant hand keeping quarters or 8th notes or 16ths or whatever, you know. Yeah. But always just to sing parts and not to think about it too much. Yeah. Really just sing it and you know, the bass drum's down there, the snare's over there. Eventually you get into putting it all together, you know. But yeah, there is a lot of merit in actually reading. If you can read, wow, man, there's so much gnarly material out there. I mean, and you can learn quickly. I mean, the kids of today, have a look at this age, bro, the generation of kids, bro, they're like, you know, they're doing world-class,
far ahead
performances, bro, like really
at a young age.
Technique and it's all natural, bro. It's all like, it's like they plug into the Matrix or something, bro. They're just like, they watch a couple of vids of like Jojo Mayer. Yeah.
There we go.
Suck it up and play it, you know. Yeah. Jeez, bro. But yeah, a lot of material.
Yeah, I mean, like, reading music, honestly, it gives you the job, because I'm pretty sure that if you didn't study drums and you weren't able to read music, you wouldn't have got that job at the Tableview Primary, right?
Well, yeah. Look, I'm not a fluent reader at all, eh? Like, I can't read it like I just read English books, you know, or read books.
But you've got the foundation.
I got a foundation, and I like working out grooves, you know, like figuring something out inside and then trying to put it out in paper, you know?
Yes. Do it the other way around.
It's super fun. But in terms of reading, like back in the day, you know, we used to play for, you know, when you play in church and you've got your glass screen and you're just covered in perspex, and, you know, you're just surrounded by a perspex cage, and you just, you got charts and headphones. Yeah. And it's just you and the paper, bro.
Yes, you know?
Daunting sometimes, yes. You know. But it's a really good thing. Like I said, I'm not a good reader, but it's definitely something to, you know, really focus on as a player.
And it helps. Talking freelancing stuff, who are you playing with right now? I think if I'm understanding correct, you actually going to play with Crimson House.
Wow, yeah, you're Giovanni, you know that drummer.
Yeah.
Oh, what a legend.
I knew it. You're going to get that job, because you were like with the Shadow Cats. I'm like, next thing, Brendon, is going to be Crimson House.
Again, this is like a Kaneki through our other brother, Ashley Hilton.
Yeah, for sure. Old Ash.
Ashley's been with Crimson for a while and jamming with Riaan Smit.
And you guys are connected with a stash band.
With a stash band. We actually, we also did we did a few years with Jan Blom as well.
Yeah.
Touring around, and yeah, that's like the bass brother, you know, that kind of just opens these doors for me as you know, as life this kind of unfolds, you know. Yeah. So a lot of that work is through Ashley, actually, Hilton, the brother. So now I'm kind of I'm filling in the shoes for Giovanni just for now, you know, kind of just, I'm there to just dip.
Who's obviously a bit too busy with like playing for Karen
and yeah, exactly.
And who else? Yeah.
So yeah, man. So I'm dipping there, but playing with Riaan Smit is like, oh my word, bro.
Must be awesome.
It's so rad, man.
Yeah,
like
that energy. Next level.
The energy. That's it, bro. The energy is just, it just entices you to, you know, go nuts sometimes.
Yeah.
But the music that he creates, bro, is like, geez, I'm sure you've listened to a lot of, some Crimson stuff.
I've seen a lot of the shows,
You've actually been to some of the shows,
Yeah, back in Strab and all the music festivals.
Super hyper energy, fun.
Other cats you playing with now besides the Stash Band, the Later Brothers, Crimson House?
Got the Crimson House thing, and this. We also do the Riaan Smit and the Shadow Cats.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the Johnny Cash tribute.
Oh yes,
also with Riaan. And then it's the Stash Band. Yeah, Later Brothers, and that's pretty much it for now. I think that's a nice little fast, you know.
It's a nice little string to keep you busy.
Totally.
You got your teaching job, you got your buildings.
Yes,
things are moving. It seems like.
I mean, super blessed. Since we've been in Cape Town, it's been like a slow, you know, just slowly building up some sort of know-abouts and connections and building friendships.
Yeah.
We've been here with my family, my wife and I and my son. We've been here for 7 years now.
Okay.
I spent a bit of time in Josie as well, you know.
So you
to be in Cape Town.
Came here just before COVID. Interesting.
Yes, just before COVID, and then we went back in the COVID period. It was quite heavy, so we went back to Josie for like, I can't remember, like 5 months or 6 months or something. And then, came
made
back
your
home,
way back here again.
Yeah.
And you also like quite a staunch surfer, and you're also into bikes and stuff.
I love motorbikes.
Yeah.
And I'm not as staunch into bodyboarding as I used to be.
Yeah.
I love the sport. But my son's really taken on to that, and he's like,
is it?
Yeah, no, he's clapping forward, bro.
Nice.
Surfs for the Western Province team now.
Oh wow.
Super proud of the dude.
Huh.
But I dabble every now and then. I get in the water.
Yeah.
You know, got to keep the gills wet.
Yeah.
But I've really just been focusing on life in general. But I should actually get out in the water. You know, it really takes a lot of the pain and the stress away.
Yeah.
You know, takes a mind off things, and geez, it's a lot of fun, bro. Oh my word. It's a good sport.
We were sort of lightly touching on it. You obviously growing up in East London, you're quite close to the Transkei, and you mentioned you went on some trips there. You played Ndumbi Music Festival.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that experience. With who did you play that, and how was it?
With the Later Brothers.
Yeah.
It was just the four of us. But that was a New Year's. That was around New Year's. I can't remember exactly when that was.
Yeah.
Probably like 2008 or something, 2009. But geez, what a cool festival, like really just the setting,
great stories,
especially at night. But during the day also rad, it's like if there's a little creek that divides the crowd from the stage.
Yeah.
And there's a little bridge on the side, so you're playing in this little creek, or right in front of the creek. I wouldn't say, probably be like a little amphitheater setup, but not entirely, but just like some cliffs right behind you, some trails up, and there's some other, little nooks and crannies, bro. There's so many cool little places in between all of that, like you walk up the cliff behind the stage. You'd walk up there, and then you'll find like a cool little restaurant or like a little little shop, or but just a rad place, just a rad place to be in general. I think if you in South Africa and you want that bit of Africa, I mean, cows on the beach, it's all interesting. But well, it was I don't know if they've still got that festival going. I'm not sure. But when we played, it was just,
It sounds like this precious kind of experience.
Very, very, totally. Once in a lifetime sort of opportunity, like very, what's the word? Like the drum set was kind of rusty and, like no front head. And
it's like a rustic feel.
Just a real rustic feel. Just a bunch of bras. Hey, no, we've all got a bit of sound. Let's make it happen.
Oh, that's so epic.
But it was, it really was epic. The nightlife is very cool. When you're cruising around in the, amongst the bushes, like in the bushes, bro, and like you got all these cool little trails, and there's music in the background as are cruising around with little torches, and there's like,
sounds like my kind of vibe. Sounds like life should be more like that.
Yeah, man, it's super cool. Yeah, that was Coffee Bay,
eh?
Yeah. Hole in the Wall. Wow, what a place.
Sorry?
Hole in the Wall.
For sure.
Yeah. Jeez, man. But, man, that was Lolata Brothers.
Yeah.
At that festival.
Anything that you want to add, like something you feel you want to talk about, which I didn't ask you? Anything exciting?
I guess just look out for Beetroot. Look out for Beetroot drums. I'm slowly, but surely getting somewhere, and I just want to put it on the map.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can be a supplier and a custom craftsman for not just South Africans, and just for everybody.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of plans up my sleeve and some products that I kind of want to launch just to kind of just to aid into the ammo, so I can invest more into the brand. And
yes.
And obviously, like, the main thing is getting the revenue.
Yeah.
Sure. Bringing some of that in. So, like, I've got some plans. But be careful, Beetroot will come. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
On the map.
But thanks a lot, Brendon.
Thank you, John.
For being here at Mezzanine Talk. It was such a pleasure and honor to have you.
Yeah. Likewise. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is cool.